hear me sing. Okay, 2.5, zeros are polynomials. Zeros are where it crosses the x-axis, yes? Okay, there are real zeros and there are imaginary zeros. When we talked about a degree of a polynomial, how many zeros does that have? 3. No matter whatever here, right? Okay, I didn't say they're real or imaginary, right? But it has 3 zeros. If earlier in your math career it said at least 3 real, I'm just telling you there are exactly 3. I just didn't say whether they're real or imaginary. Now you have the ability to find them all regardless of what they are. So we're going to be finding zeros. And I actually just said this, so I don't know if you really need to. The fundamental theorem of algebra says under complex number systems, every nth degree polynomial function has precisely n zeros. We just said that. You guys just told me that, right? Mm-hmm. So I would only write the underline and nothing else, okay? And the fundamental theorem of algebra tells you that only that the zeros exist, not if they're real, not if they're rational. All they do is tell you they exist. So we need to talk about what is a real number. Anything that doesn't have what in it? I. An I. Okay? So anything that doesn't have an I in it is real. What is a rational number? Is the square root of 2 rational? No. Is the square root of 4 rational? Mm-hmm. Yes, because it's 2. Get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So a rational answer is a zero that has, if it has a square root, you can evaluate the square root into an exact answer. Okay? So as we work through these things today, we will talk about all solutions, real solutions, and rational solutions. Because your book will ask you, give all the real solutions. So that is real, that's all real numbers. It will say all the solutions, so that includes imaginary, yes? Then it will say rational solutions, which doesn't include any of those square root things. So as we go through every single problem, we're going to identify each one of those so we can get that pattern going, okay? The only thing you should be writing on your page is underlined words. Those 7 words, 8, 10.
Yeah, I was listening to you and I can't listen and write at the same time. Me neither.
Do you only wear white shoes?
No. These are just the most comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
What about the ultra shoes?
You can go.
These are actually more comfortable.
I think Leon's like lime green. Yeah.
Okay, so find all the zeros. I have x minus 2. How would I find those zeros? How do I find any zeros?
Set it equal to 0.
0. Okay, so what is the real 0?
X plus 2. X equals 2.
X equals 2.
Did we already do this?
Yep. Okay, x cubed plus 4x.
Set it equal to 0.
Set it equal to 0. And what?
Divide by 4.
Nope.
Oh.
Get rid of the
Factor in x. Yes? Don't they both have x?
Yeah.
So x times x squared plus 4. And set both of my factors equal to 0. So this gives me x equals 0. This gives me x squared equals negative 4. Then what? Square root the negative 4. So not just 2i. Plus or minus 2i. So all the solutions are x equals 0 and plus or minus 2i. Yes? What are the real solutions?
0.
That's real. Is x equals 0. So there's a difference, isn't there? There's all my solutions and there's real solutions. And the reason why we want to know real solutions are those are the only ones we can graph, correct? We cannot graph imaginary solutions. Yes?
why is it positive and negative?
Because anytime you take the square root of something, it's plus or minus. Because of the fact if I square positive 2i, I get 4, negative 4. Or if I square negative 2i, I also get a negative 4. Because when you square the number, both of them. Okay, x squared minus 6x plus 9. What do I do?
7.
Factor.
Set it equal to 0. And that's important because if it was equal to 6, I'd have to like move the 6 over, correct? Okay, set it equal to 0, and then what? Nope.
Minus 9.
Nope. You can't. I just said it had to
Oh.
equal 0.
X, X, X.
Yes, we have to binomial factor it. The factors of 9 that add to 6.
3.
So x minus 3 and
X plus 3. So X equals.
x minus 3 and x minus 3. If it was plus and minus, they would be conjugate, and would there be any middle term? No.
No.
Okay, so it's x equals what? 3, but 3 is a what? Double 0.
Double 0.
So what's
Why
that?
is it a double 0? Because there's
Because there's 2 of them.
2 of them.
Because if I do this, I get 3. If I do this, I get 3, correct? And what happens at that double 0? It bounces. Everything we've done in this chapter, we're using. This is like a great review for your test. This is, I think, the last section we do in this chapter. Okay, so are these all the zeros? Is 3 all the zeros? Yeah? Are they all the real zeros? Yeah? Are they all the rational zeros? Yes. So in this case, 3 is the answer to all those 3 questions. So if it asks, state all the solutions, you'd say 3. All the real solutions, you'd say what? 3. And all the rational solutions, you would say 3. And if there were irrational numbers in there, they drop off. Okay, we have x to the 4th minus 1. Set it equal to 0.
Add 1.
Add 1.
No clue.
Well, if it's squared, I take the square root. So it's to the 4th, I take the 4th root.
That could be 1.
Which would be plus or minus 1. Because it's even.
Yeah.
If it's not even, if it's an odd number, then it is whatever it is. But if it's an even, I can take 1 to the 4th and get positive 1. I can take negative 1 to the 4th and also get positive 1, can't I? So it's plus or minus. Now, if I wrote on your paper, you walked into the problem and the problem was like this, the answer is only 1. Okay? But I put that square root there, didn't I? The book didn't. Okay? So the only time you only have 1 answer is when the book has that as your beginning problem. Because if they wanted it negative, they'd put a negative in front, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a rational zeros test states the possible rational zeros of a polynomial. Okay? The possible rational zeros. Rational zeros are zeros when they are reduced, there are no square roots involved. Got it? That's what a rational number is. There's no square roots involved once they're reduced. Is the factors of the constant term divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. So in order to do this, this polynomial has to be written in the correct order. Are there other things that we have to do that before we do it? Like when we do synthetic division and long division. So anytime you run into, you happen to walk down the street and run into a polynomial, you got to put it in what? Order. You got to put it in descending order. Anytime. So the next time you meet a weird polynomial walking down the street, put it in what? Order. So the assignment will tell you, use the rational zeros test to state the possible zeros. So this is what it is. The possible rational zeros are the factors of the constant divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. Now, when we write out some of these, they will be disgusting. It will look like 30 different things. But think about this. If I didn't limit it down to 30, my possible rational zeros are infinite, correct? So 30 is a lot better than infinitely many. They won't always have 30, but sometimes they will.
Which one's the constant?
The last term,
Oh.
the one with no x. Okay, we good? Okay, so it says find the rational zeros of this. So I'm going to list my PZs. What do you think PZs stand for? Possible rational zeros. You could put them in your PRZs if you want. Would you prefer PRZs?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put PRZ.
Duplo.
Okay, it says the factors of the leading coefficient. I mean the constant. I don't care about the negative. Got it? What's my constant? My constant is just 6. I don't care about the negative. Just 6. What is my leading coefficient?
1.
1. That should be nice, right? So what are the factors of 6? Okay, so plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. All over,
Wait. Okay, so where did you get the 2?
what are the factors of 6?
Oh,
Okay, all of the factors of the number. Okay? All over the factors of the leading coefficient. What is the leading
I
coefficient?
just thought that you were listing like plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4.
Those are the factors of the constant of the factors of the leading coefficient. So now how this works, the way I wrote it is kind of the shorthand for it. If I didn't write it this way, you don't have to write it this way. I'm going to show you how the book will list it sometimes. It would say plus or minus 1. Well, this one's not a good one for it because it's just 1, correct? And so, like,
And where'd you get that 1 from?
the factors of the leading coefficient.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm not going to show you on this one because this isn't a good one to show you on. And it's just going to confuse you because this one, when we divide by 1, we always get this number on the top, right? But if the denominator was 2, could I have fractions? Yeah. I could have like 3 halves.
So what if the bottom, or like, what if the leading coefficient was 3? Would you have like 1 and 3?
You would have 1 and 3 on the bottom. So you could have 2/3 as an option. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't ever try 2/3 first. Because at this point in time, we have 4 different possibilities for answers, correct? Do you see that? Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3. I said 4. I mean 8. And plus or minus 6. There's 8 different possibilities. At this point in time, I have to now use synthetic division to find them. How am I going to know it is a 0?
If it equals, if your
With the last
remainder is
numbers.
0.
If my remainder is 0. So at this point in time, I start choosing from my possible rational zeros to do synthetic division. If I don't get 0 as a remainder, then it's not a 0, and I go on. This happens to be a 4th degree polynomial, correct? Okay, if I can get it down to a third and I can factor by grouping, I can stop, correct? Or if I got it down to a 2nd degree polynomial, I can definitely either binomial factor or the quadratic formula, correct? Because I have to completely factor these things so I can graph them. So what would you guys like to try?
I would like to just cross off the x to the 4th minus x to the 3rd. What?
No, what would you like to divide by? 1, 2, 3, or 6?
Oh. I thought we were gonna do the.
No, we can't. Because this is a 4th degree polynomial, you can't do that.
1.
1? Okay. So 1 out here, right? I guess I
And
didn't
I'm
even
gonna
ask.
get
Is this written in order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any gaps?
No.
No. So we should have made it sure it was in order in the first place, and it was, so I didn't mention it. So I got 1, -1.
Wait, are we gonna have to do like
-3.
sorry, question. So since it's plus or minus 1, are we gonna have to do a positive 1 synthetic division and a negative 1
Well,
synthetic
if
division?
they don't, whatever doesn't work.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
So we could have to do 8 synthetic divisions. Here.
Well, if you pick poorly, yes. Because how many zeros are in this polynomial?
Too many.
How many?
4.
No. How many zeros are here?
4.
4. There are 4. Other people did not. There are 4. Not 4. I didn't say 4 real. There are 4, correct? So we possibly, hopefully you don't continue. You use your other math skills to find these. So I got 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, negative 2. Can I stop?
Yeah.
Am I going to get 0 as my remainder? No. Okay. So personally on my piece of paper, I just erased what I did and I went from 1 and now I'm just going to go, guess what?
2.
Negative 1. I already got negative 1 written there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I erased on my paper what I did. Erase that stuff. Okay, I'm going to do negative 1. So 1, negative 1, negative 2, 2, 3, negative 3, negative 9. Can I stop?
Hey, how'd you get negative 9?
Oh, negative 6. Negative 9 I would stop. Negative 6 I'm not going to stop, am I?
Which would be positive 6.
Which would be positive 6 and I would get what?
0.
0. So one of my x's is going to be what?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Okay. One of them is going to be negative 1, correct? Because we got a remainder of what?
0.
0.
So 4 of the 8 are gonna be right.
Second. I need to read these better. This 2, what is it? Negative 2, 3, and negative 6. Okay, what was your question?
So 4 of the numbers we try are gonna be right.
No, because that would mean they were all real. They could be 4, but it doesn't have to be because we could have some imaginary solutions, correct?
Yeah.
Or we could have some irrational solutions as well. And the imaginary numbers are not up there, and neither are irrational.
So how do we
So-
know when to stop?
You stop when you can get it to where you can factor it.
So when
So-
when we find even 1, 0, we can stop synthetic division.
No, I said you stop when you can factor it. Can you factor? This is x cubed. This
No.
is x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. If you personally can factor that, you stop. If you can't factor it, you what?
You
Keep
keep
going. Now, this is the nice thing about the possible rational zeros test in synthetic division. I just go off of what I had. It's called continued, right? Repeated. If this constant, because negative 6 is my constant now, if that constant's 3, does that take away some options? Yeah, but it's not 3, it's still 6. Could negative 1 be another? Could it be there again? Yeah, but if 1 didn't work the first time, guess what? It's not going to work the second time. So do not try 1 again. What would you guys like to try?
2.
2?
Definitely gotta be 2.
So since we found a 0 from the negative 1, we can continue with that answer?
Yes.
But if it wasn't going to be a 0?
Yeah, if it wasn't, you wouldn't be
Start
using it.
over.
Yep. Okay, you guys do it. Ha-ha. Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a remainder of 0. So now I know 2.
Now we can factor.
Now we are down to x squared, correct?
Mhm.
We now have x squared plus 3. Can we answer that? Can we solve that now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be x squared equal negative 3.
Minor question, what happened to my negative 6?
What negative 6?
The one that's up there.
I added 6 to it and got 0.
Oh, and if x is equal to a negative 1.
Yes?
1 equals a negative 3.
You should have your math on. Isn't negative 6 plus 6 0?
Yeah, but that's what you did over there too. You didn't get rid of it there.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I did. Right here, I got rid of this one. It just went down. It just happened to both be negative 6. That just was like, it doesn't happen all the time. It just happened to be that way. Okay, so now I take the square root of both sides,
X equals I.
plus or minus
Dang it, I always try plus minus. I
3.
square root of 3.
I squared of 3. And in this case, we can do that. Okay, so all of my answers are plus or minus I squared of 3, negative 1, and 2. Correct?
That's 4.
Where'd you get 2?
Right there. That's what we divided by.
Oh, yeah.
This is all of them. Yes?
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
So Why do you not just leave it as x squared equals a negative 3?
Because you want to know what x is, not x squared.
Okay.
Okay, so then I want the real solutions. What are the real ones?
-1 and 2.
Negative 1 and 2. And what are the rational? Yes, there are. Rational means they don't involve a square root when they're simplified.
Negative 1 and 2.
Negative 1 and 2.
Ooh. I don't get rationals.
You will.
So those are our three answers.
Those are our 3 answers.
And we have to do that on everything.
I would do that on everything. Because the book may not ask you to do that on everything, but I would definitely do that because of the fact that then you will know the difference between all of them easily. Now, here's a what if for you guys. If this I was not there, don't ask me where I got it, I said it's a what if. Everyone pay attention. If that I was not there, okay, this is all of my solutions still, yes? What are all my real solutions?
Plus
We
or minus
include
the square
that.
root of 3.
Plus or minus the square root of 3. What are all my rational solutions?
Not
Well, -1 and
just
2.
that.
Negative 1 and 2.
So
That's what I mean. Rational is mean when it is reduced, there is no square root, no root involved. And I should say root, not square root, because we can have cube root, fourth root. Okay? Rational number is a number that can be written as a like that. No root involved.
So you keep doing synthetic division until you can.
Until you can factor, because I can tell you I could have factored that right there. I think I could have factored it by grouping. Could I have factored this by grouping? Because I could factor out an x squared, right? And I have x minus 2. And I could factor out a 3. And I would have x minus 2. So I would have had x squared plus 3 and x squared minus 2, which would have given me my 2 and my plus or minus square root of 3i. Okay?
Dang.
So that's why I keep saying when you can factor. If you don't see you can factor, keep going. This with synthetic division is much quicker than struggling through factoring, correct?
Yeah.
I have people that will continue to factor even after they get an x squared because it's still easier than continuing. But the bad thing about it, guys, is this is only rational zeros, correct? If all we have left are irrational zeros or imaginary numbers, are you ever going to get it? No. Okay. So, find all the rational. This one says all the rational. The last one said find all of them, right? So now this one we're going to go all 3. I'm showing you the different kind of instructions you're going to get. But again, I would encourage you to find all real and rational and identify them. Like name them, like I've been doing. Okay, so it says find all the rational zeros. So first thing, is it in order? Yes. Okay, can I simply just take care of it the way it is? No. Okay, so I need to list my PRZs. What's PRZ?
1 and 3.
Possible rational zeros. So I have the factors of the constant, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3.
3.
Okay? Over
Plus or minus 1, plus or minus
No.
2.
plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. Because the factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Now, I think you have a couple in your assignment that say just list the possible rational zeros. That's all they want you to do. Okay? If you look up your answer, this answer I am fine with. That's all I want to see. Okay? If you look up the answer in the textbook, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's going to look like
I honestly might like it better.
if you do, go for it.
Actually, I might, but it's just
Okay. It's the same exact thing, yes?
Yeah.
they did every combination I could have with the numerator and the denominator. This one's not too bad. There's only 2 and 2, right? But imagine like you have 5 or 6 on the top and 3 or 4 on the bottom. I think you spend more time trying to figure out all the combinainations when you could just go do them. Now, I am also not going to start with 1/2 or 3/2 unless I have to. Or am I? I'm going to hope I find those when I just factor. Okay, so what do you guys want to try first?
1, so it's a 0. I already did it. Sorry.
Why did you decide 1?
Because it was easy.
Because it was easy. Okay. I am not a person that usually starts with 1 from past experience because 1 isn't usually a 0. But if you always want to start at 1, it doesn't matter. Guys, just keep track of what you try, but think about it. Okay? I'm not going to pick 9 when I have to get an even number at the end or something like that, right? So just kind of think before you pick so you're not randomly doing them all day. Okay, so you should have gotten 2, 2, 5, 5, -3, -3, so I get 0. Okay, so we have 1, 0 at 1. Okay, so we started cubed. We're now down to what?
Factor it now.
We can. Okay, we can factor it now because we're down to squared, yes? So I have x squared, or 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Okay, so factors of 6 that have a difference of 5.
6 and 1.
6 and 1. So I have 2x and x. And since this times this and this times this, and I need 6, this is going to be positive 3 and negative 1.
Set those equal to 0.
What?
Set those equal to 0.
Yep, set those equal to 0.
So -3.
So negative 3.
And 1 equals
1/2.
2x. 1/2.
And 1/2. Because you add 1, divide by 2? Okay, so these are all of the zeros, yes?
Because there can't be any more.
And they're all rational.
And then they're all real, because real comes first, correct? And they're all what?
Rational.
Rational. So their classifications are always in that order. There's all of them. And then real numbers, because irrational numbers are real as well. And then rational. And we probably should write them in order because what we are eventually going to do is graph these, correct?
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, this is a cubic, yes. It's odd. It's positive. So show me with your hands what it's going to start and stop at. Odd, positive. It's going to start down and end up. Okay. Not bouncing anywhere.
No.
Nope.
2 showing.
I just don't get how far you decide to take them up and down.
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
don't matter. That's calculus. That's next year.
I'm not taking that.
Okay. Calculus, we'll figure out how far and down they go.
I'll think general. Composition math. What does your shirt say?
I never dreamed I would grow up to be a super cool math teacher, but here I am trying.
Really?
Yeah.
You never thought
Yeah.
of it?
Yeah, 5.
No, math. A teacher was the last thing I ever wanted to be.
Really, what was the first thing you
Why
wanted?
would we have?
I wanted to be an architect.
Why weren't you about to
Wow.
Oh.
And
Okay.
now you're here with us.
You sacrificed
So
life.
basically, we're worst case scenario. You
Yeah.
regret leaving
No.
Beatrice? Like, do you regret it?
Oh.
Okay, I have negative 10x squared plus 15x squared plus 16x minus 12. Says find what all real solutions.
On our own?
Well, you tell me what to do. I'm just writing.
So you find the factors of 12.
No, wait,
No, we need to do the PZRZ.
yeah, that's what they're talking about. But what do I need to check first?
Make
Is
sure
If it's
they're
in
there.
order.
No zero.
it in order?
It's in order and there's no gap.
Yes, it
Okay.
is. And it is.
So my what?
Plus or minus 1,
Why are there so many factors?
plus or minus 12,
Plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4,
plus or minus 3.
plus or minus 2.
Wait, you
plus or-
forgot 2 and 6.
Yeah, that's like 3,
I didn't forget nothing.
4,
No, Connor.
Oh.
6,
I didn't forget.
and 12.
All over the factors of plus or minus 1, plus or minus 10, plus or minus 2, and plus or minus 5.
See, this is where I'm gonna be confused on how to get all these pairs and stuff.
Okay, you know what I do is just start at 1.
I thought you said you didn't.
No, I start at, he said getting the
Oh.
factors. I don't do them in pairs. I do them in order.
Oh, well.
If you want to do them in pairs, you do them in pairs.
It doesn't matter though.
It doesn't matter.
I like pairs. Me too.
I just start at 1, and when I get to ones that are close, then I know I start going down. Okay. Now what?
Now,
Would we ever actually like use that and like divide?
I say we go with.
This is actually how you
I think we go
factor
with 3.
large numbers.
I don't know.
This is
12.
what you do.
I say we go with 2.
yeah, 2
So-
because it could be.
Could we get zeros by just dividing them?
As long as there's no irrational or imaginary. Because if there's irrational or imaginary, they're not going to show up here. Okay, what do you guys want to try?
2.
2? Okay, do it. 2 works.
There you go.
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Oh.
divided by 2.
No,
Maybe.
I was messed up there. I put -6. It should have been positive. Okay, so 2 worked.
Yes, so x equals 2.
And now we can factor.
Yes.
Now we are
Now we should be, if we can't factor, we use what?
the Pythagoras, or the theorem
Just
thing.
put that into
I was saying-
Quadratic formula. This
Yeah.
one's not a theorem.
That, yeah.
Okay.
Can you keep going now?
But the thing is, I could keep going, and my factors went down to 6, yes? So then I would know 12 wouldn't be there, 4 wouldn't be there, 3 would still be there. But if the factors I have left are imaginary or irrational, they wouldn't show up at all. So when you get down to a quadratic, you should factor or use the quadratic formula. Yes.
Is that formula like the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared?
Yep, that's the quadratic formula.
Is it plus or minus 4? Plus
Minus.
minus 4 is b squared squared. Oh, kind of good.
Okay. So factors. Ooh, I want factor out a negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So factors of 60 that have a difference of 5.
Wait,
And
why?
1 and
Why?
6.
Oh shoot, I was thinking.
What?
1 and 6.
I was thinking 50.
I
not
can't
60.
think of
What?
one.
What?
Wait, you.
Wait, you said factors of what that?
60. Because 10
60.
times 6 is 60.
Oh, that was my problem.
Factors is 60. I was like 60.
8 and does 8 go into 60? Then there isn't any.
So I got 10 and 6. What else I got?
12 and 5.
12 and 5. 30 and
15
2.
3, or 15 and 4.
15 and 4.
I'm better than
There isn't any.
Okay. Even if there isn't any, is this taking me way too long?
Yeah.
Can I
so we
just do
use
the quadratic
formula now.
Okay, so negative b, so we get 5 plus or minus the square root,
Wait, why isn't it negative 5?
Because there's already a negative in it.
because it's negative 5 already.
Oh, I was still using the.
Yeah, if you do the other one, then you have to do it differently and we mess that up. So we go back to the original. Okay, so 5 plus or minus 25, because that's 5 squared, right?
Yeah.
Minus 4 times 6 times 10. All over, oh, negative 10. It's negative 10.
Yeah.
All over negative 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 20, 24, this is 240,
Look.
right? 4 times 6 times 10.
Yeah.
And it's positive
Yes. Wait, why is that positive?
because I have a negative 10 and a negative 4.
Oh, so you multiplied what did you multiply first?
6 times 10.
I did
Does it
6,
matter?
I did 4 times 6 times 10.
Does it matter though?
No. Okay, so I have 265.
Yeah.
So I gotta reduce that if I can. I'm going with 5. Anybody else got a bigger number that goes in 265?
I was looking up the number.
No.
No.
50.
So we got 553. Okay, 53 is prime. Correct?
Yeah, what's that?
1 and 53 are the only thing that
Oh,
goes in.
yeah.
Okay. So we
I
have.
was wondering it too.
Okay, that's okay. So we just are stuck with 265 and nothing can come out, can it? So we have. I'm gonna bring my negative up here. Yep.
Call me before lunch if you can.
Okay. So -5 plus or minus the square. Oh wait, yeah. The square root of 265 all over 20. Now that
How
is.
did that into?
How did I what?
I thought you
No.
added the 5 into it.
2 is your
No.
real
Okay,
number.
just a second.
These are
I
all-
cannot perform the square root of 265 without a calculator at this point, so I can't add 5 into it until I do that. Now, I can't reduce the 5 and the 20 because there's not something in front of the square root. Everything has to reduce. So, these are what my solutions? All. They're also my what? Real. What are my rational?
Just the
So it's
two.
just the 2.
Just the 2.
'Cause you don't wanna-
Now.
Why is that one real?
Because there's no I in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, real quick. Your directions are going to look like this. Now, shush. What's it say? What's A say?
What's the possible rational ratios of 0? So.
Okay, is that what we did?
Yeah.
Yes. Should you kind of be able to sketch what a picture looks like? Odd, even? Yes. Okay. That's B. A, it says what? I think that, no, it says ABA.
Yeah.
Oh, and disregard any, that doesn't matter. And then determine them all. Is this what we did?
Yeah.
Yes. They just did what? A, B, C'd it to make it look.
They're trying to scare me.
Okay, you do that process every single time no matter what, right? So do not get freaked out about those directions. Yes, Maddie?
This graph would go like this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You landed down, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, Shelby.
The assignment is the one for-
The assignment is Thursday's assignment, 19 through 39. Odd.
Crystal Lord, come to the office.